Hello, everyone. Welcome to the online writing stream. Greetings, writers. What we are an online collaborative organization designed to come together as much as we can and try to write together as a way of developing our skills and motivating each other to become better writers. You'll see me around almost every day, at least for an hour, coming in, and we choose a topic, and based on that topic, we write for 30 minutes or 40 minutes and share what we came up with. That being said, today we're going to talk about the idea of teacher lore. And what teacher lore is about writing about your experiences as a student, as a teacher, um, anything that you've had and anything that you're thinking about. As you know, in the US today, DeVos was chosen as the education secretary. And for many people, this is considered a tremendous disaster. It's going to be a huge impact on the public education system. I think for that reason, today we should choose a topic about our teachers and talk about how a teacher affected us, how a teacher changed us, and how a teacher is going to affect us in the future. You could talk about you can even talk about bad things. You talk about a teacher who screwed you over one time. That happens. For me, I'm a high school dropout. I quit. I entered university when I was about 16, um, and that's my story. But my teachers were fantastic. It wasn't their fault. Um, so I'll probably write about that a little bit today from a little bit of a different perspective. But that being said, let's get started. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold. Go ahead, write a story, write a poem, write something that's interesting to you. And let's come back in about 20, 30 minutes. You'll be able to see me writing over there, um, on the left side of your screen. You'll get to see me writing live. If you're uninspired or if you're just looking to relax and watch something. If you type anything in my chat, it'll appear up above as a way of kind of getting over to me and letting me see it. Beyond that, uh, down below, you can see the link to my Discord channel. You're welcome to come in there, join, even share your pieces live with voice, kind of like a Skype call. It's very cool. Um, so let's come back. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to know, just go ahead and talk to me. I do want to say thank you to Tereshi and the Blacktastic for sharing, for hosting me. I really appreciate that. And then RBP700Z or OZ is hosting me, and Rebishaz is too. So thank you guys. Um, let's move over. We'll do a little bit of writing tonight. And Udi Games too. Thank you, Udi. All right, let's do some writing. My teacher. So tonight, I want to write from the perspective of one of my teachers when I was a high school student. And I was not a good student in high school. I had many issues and led to my ultimately quitting. So let's find it. Switch that paragraphing over. The remnants of a raging nor'easter. It's at least 13 inches on the ground. And Mr. Graybill. Mr. Graybill was one of my history teachers, and I've always thought about him because he did get screwed by the school system. Um, he stood up for students. He protected them, uh, and it cost him his job ultimately. But well, let's talk about him, his perspective. Himself by his teacher name. Still amazed him that he referred to even himself by his teacher name. That sufficiently encompassed the majority of his hours. It was now, for all means and purposes, exactly how he defined himself. Been waking up at that ungodly hour for some 6 years now. Imagined continue so till after he had hung up his books for good. Alright. 7 a.m. was too early to wake up on, even on a good day. Even on a good day. On even a good day. I like it more. Or at least there were at least 13 inches on the ground, and Mr. Graybill would have to shovel his winding driveway if he wanted his Volvo to get enough traction to reach the road. It still amazed me they referred to even. I'd used even way too many times here. We'll get rid of some of this stuff. Coming artifact. Self. Something. Legend. Seniors. Would scare freshmen. Just Mr. Anderson. At least Miss Anderson. It's better than Mr. Graybill. It'd say. He made us study. As though that not self-evident. And Miss Anderson, not self-evident. And Miss Anderson would, of course, perform her job to the utmost. On past and strengthened for the time he held it. Yes. Put on a little bit of music. What do we want? Some random song. Lufia and the Fortress of Doom field motif. Sure, why not? Crofton High School. Really that different. All the other schools. Located north of the North Country. Oh, with it, a defiant malaise often plagued his students. Just knew they wanted in life. A life like their fathers. And fathers before them guaranteed the comfort. Hello to those of you just joining us. What we're doing today, we're writing about our teacher. You can write a poem, you can write a short story, you can write anything you want. You're also welcome to just hang out and watch. I'm writing about one of my high school teachers, Mr. Graybill, as a way of saying thank you for everything he did for me. I remember him very well. He was just my teacher for a year and a half, but I really appreciate him. So please join me. Write down whatever you'd like, whatever you can. We're going to write together for about another 15 minutes, and then we're going to have an opportunity to share. You're welcome to share over in my chat or in my Discord. Either one is fantastic. So thank you guys for coming in and watching. Share, talk about your teachers. Who knows how longer we're going to have them. Most knew what they wanted in life, a life like their mothers and fathers before them, guaranteed the comfort of a unionized factory job working at the paper mill. Guaranteed the comfort of a unionized factory job working at the paper mill. Each day decided as the last. Reason to study history would make no mark upon it. Some, too many, thought. Still, it's opportunity for growth. Opportunity for the people of that tiny village demonstrated pragmatism and ability to learn. Amazed him. Demonstrated pragmatism and ability to learn that yet amazed him. Some students go on to help shape the world. One concerned him, though. The quiet young man still chose to sit at the front of the class, even when his peers shifted their desks ever backwards, as though disappearing to the last rows, cloak them from his gaze, his questions. His questions. It even works sometimes. Today, student found renewed interest fiddling in his notebook. Mr. Graybill took a passing interest as about the impacts of fascism in post-World War Germany. Today, the student had found renewed interest fiddling in his notebook, and Mr. Graybill took a passing interest as he lectured about the impacts of fascism in post-World War I Germany. There were notes, to be sure. Scrawled one-word bursts. Only the salient points. As taciturn as the student before him. Noted in some system connected lines and crosses and X's. That convoluted all meaning. Next to those notes, though, alternate history. Impacts of what might have occurred instead of what had. Student concluded the world still remained the same. Single word, bolded in hand script, and underlined twice. Hand script in handwriting? Underlined twice. Inspire peace. Humanity. Apparently now disinterested. Topic. The student turned towards his second notebook. Practicing some foreign language. Possibly Elvish. Japanese. Both were certainly possible. This student. His name was James. Or disheveled. We'll just use my friend the spell checker. His name was James and he wore a disheveled white shirt. Upon which he had ironed on a Super Mario sticker. It's peeling. Faded. Stains. Into the cloth. Those nearly gone. Where? The student turned towards his second notebook. Student. Concern. Somewhere. Turmoil. Turbulent. Family. Somewhere in the turmoil of turbulent family. Turbid? Too little. Watch the current take him. No. Student bowed his head times and apologized at having done He offered no excuse. Cringed as he did so. Wait, the world shifting upon his shoulders. It's not the teacher's failing. James accepted that. Internalized it. Crushed himself with it. Take about another 4 or 5 minutes, everybody. Go ahead and figure out what you want to do to end this piece. You don't have to end it, you can leave it open. Mine is not going to be finished. I'll go back through later on today and I'll try to flesh it out and finish up. I'm just getting to the key point in the story where it turns. So we'll see how that works out. It's not the teacher's failing, but his, and James accepted that, internalized it, and crushed himself with it. There was no further punishment. Other teachers criticized him. Talking over at lunches about the potentials, difficulties. Students agreed that James presented though none knew. How to turn. It wasn't their fault either. It's great. Was as it was. Natural. Nor'easter. Could stem. The flow of fate. And yet, it was a compulsion to do so. Them had lost sleep. All right, everybody. If you have a piece that you would care to share, by all means, please let me know. Just go over and type in chat that you'd like to share something, and I'll be happy to give you an opportunity. Again, you have the option of actually copy pasting right into my chat. There is like a 150 word limit or something that you'll have to break up your story if it's longer. Otherwise, you're welcome to join my Discord channel. And I believe in my Discord channel, I am in general chat right now. I'm going to jump down to the writer's corner. You're welcome to jump in there and either paste your piece so you don't have to split it up, or you can read your piece, which I would love to have you do, because I'd rather hear you read it. But that being said, I will share my piece, and if anybody would like to join me, by all means. So, here's my piece. 7 a.m. was too early to wake up on even a good day, not one that still embraced the remnants of a raging nor'easter. There were at least 13 inches on the ground, and Mr. Graybill would have to shovel his winding driveway if he wanted his Volvo to get enough traction to reach the road. It still amazed him that he referred to himself by his teacher name, though that sufficiently encompassed the majority of his hours and was now, for all means and purposes, exactly how he defined himself. He'd been waking up at that ungodly hour for some 6 years now, and imagined he would continue to do so until long after he had hung up his history books for good, becoming an artifact himself, something of a legend seniors would scare freshmen with. "At least Miss Anderson was better than Mr. Graybill," they'd say. "He made us study." As though that were not self-evident, and Miss Anderson would, of course, perform her job to the utmost as well. The baton passed and strengthened through the time he had held it. Groveton High School was not really that different than all the other schools he had taught in. Though located in the north of the North Country, brought with it a defiant malaise that often plagued his students. Most knew what they wanted in life, a life like their mothers and fathers before them, guaranteed the comfort of a unionized factory job, working at the paper mill, each day decided as the last. There was no reason to study history when you would make no mark upon it. Some, too many, thought. Still, there was opportunity for growth. The people of that tiny village demonstrated a pragmatism and ability to learn that yet amazed him, and he knew some students would go on to help shape the world. One concerned him, though. The quiet young man who still chose to sit at the front of the class even when his peers shifted their desks ever backwards, as though disappearing into the last rows would cloak them from his gaze and his probing questions. It even worked sometimes. Today, the student had found renewed interest fiddling in his notebook, and Mr. Graybill took a passing interest. A little bit weird there. I gotta work with that. As he lectured about the impacts of fascism in post-World War I Germany. There were notes, to be sure, scrawled in one-word bursts, only the salient points, as taciturn as the student before him. Noted in some system and connected with lines and crosses and X's that convoluted all meaning. Next to those notes, though, were the musings of alternate history, the impacts of what might have occurred instead of what had. The student concluded that the world would still remain the same, and a single word, bolded in handwriting and underlined twice, summarized the entire piece: humanity. Apparently now disinterested with the topic, the student turned towards his second notebook, where he was practicing some foreign language or other, possibly Elvish or Japanese. Both were certainly possible with this one. His name was James, and he wore a disheveled white shirt upon which he had ironed a Super Mario sticker. It was peeling and faded, and stains had worn into the cloth, yet even those were nearly gone with wear. Yes, he was a student of concern, lost somewhere in the turmoil of turbulent family and turbid dreams. Mr. Graybill could do little but watch the current take him where it would. But he laid off when this particular student bowed his head at times and apologized for not having done homework. He offered no excuse and cringed as he did so, the weight of the world shifting upon his shoulders. It was not the teacher's failing but his, and James accepted that, internalized it, and crushed himself with it. There was no need for further punishment. Other teachers criticized him at times, talking over their lunches about the potentials and difficulties with one student or another. They agreed that James presented a unique problem, though none knew where or how to turn. That wasn't their fault either, Mr. Graybill knew. It was as natural as a nor'easter or a volcano. Little could stem the flow of fate, and yet there was compulsion to do so. All of them had lost sleep over it. And that's where it's going to end for right now. Yeah, Mr. Graybill was my teacher, my final year of school. He laid off. He did not punish me when I didn't do my work or do whatever. He did it not out of apathy, but out of understanding that it didn't help me. It would depress me even more and demotivate me even more. He gave me freedom, and I still appreciate that. When I quit, I had to go to all my teachers and get a signed document. It's very painful, and he told me, he said, it always hurts losing the good ones. And he told me that he knew I would be successful no matter what I did. So all my other teachers, some of them lamented, some of them scolded me, but he offered me support, and I still appreciate that. I became a teacher too, and I remember the lessons he taught me, as well as my other teachers too. They were fantastic in their own ways. I was just a unique problem for them, and I'm sorry now, but even if I went back in time, I'll thank you for that. Would anybody care to share their piece? If not, it's okay, but I would love it if you did. There's still tolerance on the topic line? That bothers me. Because I didn't click update information. Drives me crazy. Well, thank you for the heads up. Do you have any piece you'd like to share? If not, it's okay too. Yes, no, maybe so. I wrote some, but it's childish. That's okay. You're welcome to share it. Go ahead, we'll wait. Piece by piece. TT. Okay. Lead the rugged road with a torch. Interesting. It's a poem. Wow. Did you write it? No. It's the end. The end of the poem? So lead the rugged road with a torch. Sometimes drain the cup of sorrow to the bottom out of expectations. Ask for no return but meaning of life. Wow. Very fantastic. Very powerful. I respect that. Beautiful. All right. Well, we're running a little bit scant on time today. So we'll go ahead and we'll wrap things up for right now. I think we did one major prompt, and we'll come back tomorrow with something else. So thank you, writers. I'll see you tomorrow around about half an hour before this airs because of my schedule. So around 8:30 p.m. EST. I ought to be around, and we'll try to do a little bit more writing then. Soon, we're going to do some visual novel writing, as well as I'm going to do some novel writing, probably in the evenings. You're welcome to come hang out with me then. Not as a writing prompt, but as a way to get you motivated in writing yourselves. Thank you, guys. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon. Have a great one.